Drunkard, he is a great fighter. He's basically doing all the fighting himself. The main character, Melly, doesn't have to do any fighting. Now, when the peonies start fighting against them, it was super easy to take care of that problem. They just needed to cut the roots. And one of the peonies reveals to be a traitor. She's been helping them on the sidelines secretly behind the strings. And the male lead had realized somebody had been helping them. That was the discussion he was having with the drunkard before they stormed the place, and he recognizes it's her, and she gets them to the room that the divine was in. When they find the divine, he is in basically a cauldron of wine, and his powers were being stiffened into the wine, and his powers were being used against them. And that's also what the drunkard and the Melid had talked about, was they were using the divine against them, and that's exactly what they were doing. And they find it exactly like that. He's basically in the wine and being turned into wine, and so they have to free him. And that's when the other sin showed up. I think the sin of wine, and he's fighting against them. He's using his wine. The male lead and the main character is being affected by it, but the drunkard, he is not affected one bit. He is continuously fighting against this sin and not having one bit of an issue. And so the sin pulls out all the wine that the divine was in to fight against this dude, because it's super hard to fight against the drunkard. I was enjoying every single second watching this dude fight. And the divine, being a little free, is sending out messages to all three of them how they can defeat this dude. And they were able to defeat him through the messages the divine was giving them. The other sin shows up, the one that was trying to make the deal with the male lead, and they fight against him and defeat him. Though I'm not actually sure if they were both defeated or just one of them defeated. I could have been wrong about the wine sin and he was able to escape, because I was a little confused. It was like reading a Tom and Jerry scene, which I say a lot of times when I read this one and the other one, is because it does feel like reading a Tom and Jerry skit, and I enjoy it. I really do. So I'm not sure if both were defeated or just this sin was defeated. They bring everyone back to the base that they're staying at. The peony and all of her sisters, even the ones whose roots are cut, as long as they get taken care of, they can re-heal and come back. So they bring them all back to the base, and that's when she tells them her story. So she had came across the gardener one day and fell in love with him, like absolutely in love. She was like, I'm gonna have this man. This man will be mine. And so she was secretly going to his place and taking care of him at night without him knowing, because yows and humans can't have a relationship. She poisoned him the first time they slept together, even though she didn't want to. She has no choice. She has nothing. She can't do anything about it. It's just sad. So even though she desires him, she can't truly honestly have him. And one day when she returned back from visiting him, that's when that sin showed up, the one who was trying to make a deal with the male lead and failed to make a deal with the male lead, had captured her and her sisters. She tried fighting back, but again, she was trying to protect herself and her sisters, and there wasn't much she could do. And they were brought to the brothel and was forced to work at the brothel. One time she was able to escape to go find her love just for a short period of time, and this is when her love realizes the peony that he loved to take care of was this woman, and he absolutely in love with her. He was already in love with her flower form. He was in love with her real human form, but she couldn't stay with him, and so she left to return back to the brothel. He followed her, and she was forced to poison him. And I was like, this story is so sad. It is honestly super sad. Though the divine and the main character gives her the cure that she could use so she could be with him, though the divine warns her that her relationship with him might falter, that she might regret it, but she also will regret not being with him. So they basically give her the choice of being with him. The male lead also tells them that they can stay at the space and live here. They don't have to go somewhere else, and she is very thankful to all of them. Divine gives them a ride on his back to the main base. They tell the drunkard that he can come with them, but the moment they arrive back to the location they're trying to arrive to, he will be made to forget everything. And the Melly tells the main character that he will take care of the issue. And this is why I said I'm worried that he won't show up later, because I want him to stay. I enjoy every scene he's in. He reminds me of this swordman from Princess Bride. You know the one I'm talking about, the one who drinks a lot, who is fighting to get revenge for his father. Yes, that one. That's what this dude reminds me of. I don't know why, but every time I was reading him, I would remind myself of the character from Princess Bride. The Divine tells the male lead he can ask 3 questions, and the male lead asks them and he answers them. And I'm not going to explain what those answers are because, again, I was confused reading that the entire time. Like, my brain was scratching. Like, I had the intelligence of the main character and the intelligence of the main character from Disabled Tyrant's Pet Fish. Like, I am not that smart. So I was confused by the questions he was asking and the answers that were being answered. So I'm not going to even try because I know I'm going to fail to explain them or get them completely and utterly wrong. The Divine asks the male lead why he didn't ask about his future, and the male lead is like, why should I ask about it? I don't want to ask about it. I don't need to know about what my future is going to be. Just because it's supposedly destined to happen doesn't mean it's destined to happen. Like, the future could change. Events that could lead to the future will be completely utterly different that could change the future. Why should I put my hopes onto a future that possibly could never happen? Like, I'm going to live my life the way I want to, and if it leads to the future you have seen, that could be my future, but I am going to live the life I want to live. Now, the main character, he does want to see the future, so kind of the futures he sees is one of the visions is him holding the body of the scholar as the scholar is dying, and another vision he sees is the male lead holding a child and the child telling him, come on daddy, let's go see mommy wants to see you. And I'm pretty sure the mommy that child is talking about is the main character. Now, there could be impreg in this, but I'm pretty sure there's not, because if there was impreg about in this, people will be talking about that. So I most likely figure the child is an adopted child, and he calls the main character mommy. Now, I do have a bad feeling the main character just assumes the male lead one day get with a woman and has a child with a woman. And even though he couldn't be with the male lead, he will be happy for this future. But I also believe he thinks he also knows that he is that mommy, because that is supposed to be his future. And so he knows that he is the mommy of the child. And so he wants that future. Either version he will be happy with as long as the male lead is happy and alive. But we all know the male lead's not going to be with a woman because the male lead is gay. Now, the book, after the male lead and the main character leaves to go find the Divine, it does switches between the main character and the dare's point of views, or specifically switches off who the story is following around, and there are bits and parts of the story following the dare. The male lead had told them, and specifically the Persian prince, to keep an eye on the 3rd demon heart, and the wolf had came up with a plan that is typically a dangerous plan that no one wanted to do. But he has his trust and belief in the deer so much that they ended up agreeing to go with the wolf's plan, which is basically to sneak into the 3rd heart demon's place and steal the sacred flames from him, because this sacred flame is what the Persian prince and his elder martial brother was searching for. And they're pretty sure this dude has it, and once they get it from him, they can reveal his true identity, and he will come after them, and him coming after them will get the right chancellor to come after him too, so they can deal with both of them at the same time. That's why the plan is really dangerous. And they're like, when we wait for the main character and Ellie to get back? And he's like, no, we'll take care of the plan now. We'll do it now.